My only fear was actually money, like who am I gonna invest in this training? Right then I was in this very constricted phase where I don't know, this money sounded like a huge amount compared to my monthly income. But someone in me knew that it's gonna change through that 1 year or 1.5 year. So I asked for support from family and friends. And I was right about the income and everything. It really, truly changed
Hi
fundamentally.
there, Tekla. Welcome to the Integrative Women's Health Podcast.
Hi, Jessica, and hi, everyone. I'm so happy that I can be here. Thank you.
We're so honored to have you. So, as a graduate of our Women's Health Coach certification program and some of our other trainings, we've gotten to know each other through the live calls. So, I know you're up to some really wonderful things in your personal life and health and also your work. But before we get into all that, let's start with before you started doing this training, what was going on in your own life?
My first thought um, is that it was kind of a mess. I think that's the most important word, maybe. I was
Mhm.
struggling from cycle problems. I had very irregular and very heavy cycles. And at the same time, I was a cycle coach. So I felt like, oopsie, I'm trying to really do everything to heal my cycles. I knew all the nervous system regulation techniques and I tried out different diets. And I was trying to love my cycle and accept my menstruation. But, every time it came, it was like super heavy and super painful. It was like forces against each other. I felt like I really want to do this. I really want to teach it, but something was really missing from my own health. So I felt
Mhm.
kind of stuck. And this was really, like sitting on my self confidence as a professional. I was really struggling to, I don't know, show myself and earn money. My financial situation was not the best, I would say. I had better months and then like very self-conscious months, and my income was quite low, and that also gave me stress. And I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I shouldn't stress. I know it's bad for my cycle. So I was
Right.
stressing even more. And I knew that something was missing, but I wasn't quite sure what.
I think it's really important that you brought up how that actually directly affected your income and your
Mm.
financial security. And that's a layer of stress that I think we don't always talk about. But for women, some one method of empowerment is that sort of financial stability, which can come as you gain more confidence and
Mhm.
consistency in your work. But a lot of times we don't know to even look there because it's like, oh, I shouldn't talk about money. Women shouldn't really think about it that much. But I think it is another important stressor that women have to have some agency over
Mm.
increasingly. So, what was the spark? How did you find the Integrative Women's Health Institute?
I would say I think it was a sign from the universe. I was talking to a friend who is quite intuitive and she was really good at making money. I was always kind of jealous of her.
Mhm.
I felt like she has this courage to she, she was not perfect. She didn't know everything, in her field, but still she was quite a successful businesswoman already. And I had this feeling, Jessica, that I still don't know enough. I have to do this and that, and I have to study for like another 5 years before I have the permission from myself to actually be successful or have
Mhm.
like a financial stability. But then this friend of mine said, so why don't you just start, I don't know, learning health coaching from like an institute in the US? So I'm based in Hungary. I'm from Hungary. And I thought, oh, we don't really have that education here. Like nobody's talking about menstrual health in a way I want to talk about. And then, I just Googled women's health coaching, and that's how I found you. And then I started to read, the website, and I actually stalked you on Instagram because I'm the Instagram person.
Mhm.
And when you mentioned, like, science and nervous system and like spirituality on the same page, I was like, wow, okay, this is, my space. Because on my own healing journey, for me, it was either this or that, or, doing the
Mhm.
spiritual work, but really lacking like the scientific basics or, like the why. Or It was the very scientific part, but really lacking the soul. And I felt like, in your training, it might have both. So, yeah, that's how I got to you.
That's really nice. I think that's one of the most important things about what we teach is that it's always grounded in evidence-based and science, but I don't think the two, science, that intuition that women have around what they need for their own health, which comes from various sources of spirituality and just connectedness and confidence that we can build in women. I agree. I think really it doesn't have to be separate. And so you already knew that. And now you were looking for the credentialing, the scientific education, and how we can integrate all of those things for women in a way that's meaningful to them individually. So you joined the program. Tell me a little bit about anything that was holding your back, or were you ready to just take the leap? What was the real decision maker?
I think it was the call with the admission team, actually. I just felt so seen. I was already crying, on the first call uh, with one of your coaches because I could really share my story. I come from not having a period at all. So until the age of almost 26, my cycle didn't start. And yeah, it was almost 2 years ago when I found the WHC. Then I opened up to your coach about really, I didn't have a cycle for so long. And then I started to have it after some very deep healing connected to some emotional trauma. And my cycle started, but it still was very inconsistent. It was very heavy, very painful. And I was trying this and that, and I really had the feeling I have tried it all. My cycles are never gonna be regular. I'm stuck in my body and I don't know what to do. And she was just so, I don't know, caring, She was like, oh, this sounds really like a mission for you. And then, yeah, that's when I felt actually, yes. So I really want to join, and I had this full body yes. My only fear was actually money. Like, who am I going to invest in this training? And then, I was like, this is going to open up my world. So it was going to change how I think about, money and it's going to affect my confidence and so on. And I was like, okay, right then I was in this very constricted phase where I don't know, this money sounded like a huge amount compared to my monthly income. But someone in me knew that it's gonna change through that 1 year or 1.5 year. So I asked for support from family and friends, and I was there. So yeah. And I was right, about the income and everything. It really, truly changed fundamentally.
I love that because I think it goes to show, and one of the things we do here before we actually invite people into this program, we do have them meet with one of our career coaches who are skilled coaches, skilled health coaches, because it's very important to me that the people who join this team to join this program are a good fit. Not just for our sake, but for theirs. We want people who are going to be able to get the most benefit from this program. And that's not everybody. So I think the fact that you had that really powerful conversation and true coaching session with our career coaching team really, it warms my heart that how we set this up is working. And then, so you were like, okay, this is what I need to improve my credentialing, to improve my skill set. Because the other thing we really believe in around here is actual excellence. So, unfortunately, there are a lot of coaches out there who are very good at marketing, but not skill set that they're proclaiming to be good at. And so we really believe in that level of excellence. And because I think that's the key to both, first of all, getting our clients good results, but beyond that, giving you that confidence, giving our coaches, our graduates, our students that confidence that they can get those results, which is the next key to financial stability and financial growth. And then that's a part of health. We can't separate those things. So, what was your favorite part of the program?
So I'm gonna be honest. In the first 2 months, I was hiding from the live calls. So I was like, yeah, okay, I will go there. And I was just studying the modules, the coaching modules. I was, doing the homeworks and exercises. But I think it really took me some time to like get the courage and the vulnerability to like really show up on a
Mhm.
Monday evening. It was an evening for me, and like share my story in front of the group with you actually. And I remember it was still very touching, and I was crying that time again because somehow I had so many experiences from professionals before who were really trying to help me with my non-existent cycles,
Mhm.
and my extremely late menarche. And they were like, yeah, I don't know, try this medication or try that diet. And actually, during those years when I was searching for my period, I had many experiences when nothing was successful. And I had this experience of disappointment, maybe. So when I shared my story with you about my late menarche and then my heavy cycles, and also I felt some shame that I'm teaching women, and I was teaching women about their cycles and tracking their cycles, and still my cycle was a mess. Yeah, I felt so shamed, in front of the group and in front of you, like, oh my God, what kind of coach I am. And then the way you met me there, Jessica, with loads of compassion and like okayness. And then I remember you then switched into this very grounded, professional and told me what to change. And I just felt so held. And from that point, the live calls were my favorite actually. I felt like I got a tremendous amount of value even in 20 minutes. And I could
Mhm.
ask you my silliest questions, I think. And at some point my questions shifted from my cycle to hmm, I think to money and asking for support
Mhm.
or like, recording the course. How do I sell
Mhm.
it? How do I set boundaries? So now yeah, I could really ask you anything and uh, and that gave me so much confidence, I think, or the feeling of being supported and held. And then the retreat, the same. It did so much unshaming for me, as a professional, even if there were like an ocean between us and the other students. Yeah, it was really, really great.
I love that, and it's so funny, everyone always is like, "Oh, yes, and the modules are good too," and I appreciate that because they do take a lot of work, but you're absolutely right. I think one of the key differentiators of our program is that we actually are in person with you, whether it's through the retreats or every week on our live calls. In community, I have the opportunity to hold that space and coach you, whether it's a financial challenge or a physical challenge. If you're using yourself as an example client, which is how many people start. So many of our students come to us with some of their own health challenges, and then gaining that confidence to take care of their own health is so much easier to take care of other people's health and hold that space with confidence. I enjoy it too. I think that's one of the most important things about our program, and one of the reasons why we are becoming more and more specialty focused in our organization is because I want to have the opportunity to have those really complex, safe conversations about all aspects of this, whether it's building your practice or optimizing your own health in a world that's increasingly complex, and everyone's looking for like the scalable, non-human involved model. I think we're going to go in the opposite direction. We're going to, of course, be well aware of the growth of AI and all of that. But the reality is, when it comes to healing, there is a need for individual and small group connection to support that. So, thank you for sharing that. So, where are you now? So, let's talk about your practice, your confidence, anything, your health that you want to share.
Mm.
Yeah, where are you now?
I think my favorite part, I have more, but yeah, I really took my time, in the training. So I really started to implement your advices. And when I saw that my cycles became irregular and like the pain was gone, I felt like it was the best guinea pig experience ever. So um, I really saw that what I was learning was actually working, and it was not rocket science actually. So I really love how you made everything, yeah, sound simple, because I remember you asked me, so how much time, Tekla, do you spend in parasympathetic? And I was like, I don't know. maybe an hour or two. And you were like, okay, maybe that should be more. And I really
Right.
started to pay more attention, to grounding. I realized that because of financial instability, I was overworking and overgiving and undercharging. And I really didn't like my business that time. And I thought maybe this is not my mission, but I realized it was my mission, just not with this setting.
Mm.
Because sometimes I felt like, giving up, like, okay, this is really killing me. But no, the structure was not right. So my cycle started to heal, and I don't know, nourishing myself became so much easier. Even as someone who had like eating disorder before, like a few years before, you really took up the pressure from, I don't know, trying to do it right, or I don't know, really trying to fix my body. And I really started to understand that there's nothing to fix. It's just, some imbalance, and it needs so much support and nourishment. Yeah, so long
Yeah.
story short, I love my cycles now. And even if they are irregular, I know why. Because, for so many years I was living under stress. So I don't feel like I'm angry at my body when, here and now there's an irregular cycle, because I'm like, yeah, okay, poor body, it was so stressed for so long. Yeah.
I know what's going on. This
Yeah.
is temporary. It's
Yeah.
occasional. It's okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
still remember your sentence, like from surviving to thriving, there's always a
Mm.
step in between, and it's like regeneration.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I even have this huge exhale, like, oh, I have time to do that. Like, I don't have to be a shining star, after decades of like
Yeah.
burnout or so. So my cycles are much healthier. I don't have PMS. I don't have cramps, which is very nice because I don't lose like 3 days from a month, with this excessive pain, which gave me so much self confidence that I started to communicate about it, on social media in a more courageous way. So I have now a really nice platform, and I really enjoy, like talking to, I don't know, women there. So whenever I open like a day for coaching, it fills up very quickly because women know how I can help,
Mhm.
but my strength is, because I started to realize what my strength is. So clients flow in effortlessly. And I really love that. I'm so grateful for that. Also for them. But my really favorite part is that I realized that actually I can sell my knowledge, because some people
Mhm.
don't want personal coaching, and I love talking and teaching. So I just started to record these videos, and like these pre-recorded courses. I remember I was so scared. I told you, like, Jessica, I don't have a website. So should I do a website now, or blah, 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 blah? And you were like, yeah, just put it on a Google Drive, or, like make the steps less stressful. And wow, okay, I was overcomplicating things. And now, I was like, okay, so I need a website, this and that, until I can start. And then you really gave me the confidence. Okay, start now. And, it really took me out from freeze. Like, if I have an idea, I don't wait 3 months until I know how to start. But I'm like, yeah, okay, this is going to be imperfect. Let's see. So, my favorite part is selling my online courses, educating women, teaching women. If someone needs more, like, this specialized advice, then they can come to personal coaching to me. But if they can't afford it, they just buy my courses. And I really love this sort of, like, flowing of money and energy. I love this. This is really my favorite. And this really helped me to stabilize my monthly income. Like, I'm so much more relaxed. I feel like I don't have to worry, because yeah, I can count on myself and, my professional skills that made it possible that I can make a living out of it.
Mhm. I really love that. And I love the ease because one of the things we talk about a lot in the business coaching aspect of this program is that, look, there's not just this like one cookie cutter, hardcore bro business model of, buying 17 kinds of fancy scalable software. Like, you don't actually have to have 10,000 clients to have strong financial stability in a way that is much more peaceful. So, what I love about your story is I can sense just in your presence right now just how much more ease there is in your life and your work. So, thank you for sharing that.
Mm, thank you. Thanks for the feedback again.
So, if there's someone listening to us today who is perhaps on the fence about whether or not to enroll in this program or any of our other coaching programs, what would you say to them?
Yeah, my first thought was like, do it. If you really have this strong calling, if you have this same feeling as I had, like, oh, this is really for me. And then comes like, okay, but the financial, but the time, but blah blah blah. Like forget everything after but. I really loved in your program that I was not just another student doing the modules silently, in my room, paying you
Mhm.
money and then bye. But from the very start, from step zero with the admission team, I felt like I'm
Mhm.
gonna be, I'm gonna be a name. I mean,
Mhm.
you know me by my name, you know my story, you remember my story. And this was so healing for my nervous system. It really, I don't know, expanded my capacity to just create in my life. I'm not sure if trainings without support can actually do that, even if they put so much knowledge in your head. Like, I already had so much knowledge in my head. I thought I know so much. And still, I felt I can't start because I don't have a website. I blah, blah, blah. If you are someone looking for support, or you feel like you don't have confidence, I think this is really the program for you. Or, I felt like I could be an excellent professional. I just don't know how to get there. And I had this big dream that I want to be like a leading voice in my country about this topic. So I thought, okay, maybe I need to look for someone who is already a leading voice in their own topic, like so my nervous system can, I don't know, see an example, not just read
Mhm.
about it or hear about it. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, just do it. And I love that reflection. It's not just about gaining the knowledge, gaining the certification, getting the letters behind your name and all of that. It's about being in a space where you have skilled coaching faculty and direct meetings with me and direct meetings with your peers and your colleagues in this journey. Because I agree with you. I think there's a lot of places to just gather information,
Mm,
but to then take that information and confidently use it to build a
mm,
business that serves you and serves your clients in a way
mm,
that's so easeful. I think there's not a way, this is one of the reasons why our organization has not tried to become giant. We're not trying to have thousands of new students every month because I do know most of our students by name. I recognize them. We meet, we speak weekly. If you come to the calls, we speak weekly. And that opportunity, I think, really is what it takes to, even if you've taken 100 courses on your topic, if you're feeling stuck with your confidence, it's because you didn't have personalized coaching and mentorship.
all I can do is nod. Yeah, I'm just nodding like, yeah. Because I felt the same with my own health. I saw that I have read it all, I've tried it all, but something was still not working. And even I knew what I should do. And when I couldn't do that, I felt like bad. I felt like a bad person for doing something against my cycle. And it was like, this loop of trying harder and then feeling even more guilt. And yeah, this really eased in your program. And I really love the sentence, like, on the retreats, I could hear it, I don't know, 100 times, like your client know best. I said, okay, I know best. Maybe then that's true for me as well. And it really changed the way, like I even changed my therapist by then because I realized, so it really affected another part of my life because I was like, oh, my therapist was really trying to tell me, the direction, but I know best. And then it really started to clear out, energies from my life where I really lost my boundaries or this connection to myself and my innate wisdom. So yeah, I feel like it really, really weaved through my body in different aspects, not just my health or my business.
Well, and now you have that capacity yourself to give your clients that, this is where the ripple effect really comes in, where our students leave this program or maintain even being a part of our community, but they step into their practices with that skill set of how to empower your clients. I think that word is
Mhm.
used a lot. Like, we just need to empower women, empower our patients, like empower our clients. Yeah, but how? And that takes practice, it takes skill, it takes mentorship, it takes coaching. It's not intuitive. We sometimes undervalue these soft skills, but once you really deeply in your body understand how to do it, it is useful. But there's a little bit of a process that it's hard to do on your own. Otherwise, people would, just do it in a weekend course, and that's just not how it works. So thank you for sharing all of that. Anything else you want to share with us? And then let people know where they can find you if someone is struggling with their own menstrual health.
So, guys, if you want to chat, just reach out to me on my Instagram. This is going to be in Hungarian, but just send me a message if you are English speaker or non-Hungarian. I listened to your advice, Jessica. Then you said maybe I should first, really strengthen my community in Hungary because, sorry, another story. Do we have time for another
Yeah,
story?
yeah. Go ahead. Tell me the other
Yeah, I
story. Yeah.
think I was in the middle of the course and I felt more confident. I was like, yeah, so maybe I should, like delete my Hungarian page and start, like an international one because the market is bigger and I feel like, oh. And then you really chilled out. You were like so chilled out, saying that maybe first focus on the Hungarian, try it out, like really speak to my ideal client for 6 months and see what happens. And again, I saw, this pattern, how I would sabotage myself. Okay, so I don't want to do it in Hungarian, let's do it in English. And then, like a huge step. And then I was relaxed again. So, okay, let's focus first on Hungarian women, how I can help them. Especially that we lack this knowledge, I think, this very integrated knowledge in my country. So, long story short, my Instagram page is in Hungarian, but I'm very happy to chat or I don't know, even give like a client calls in English if someone feels like, I don't know, trusting me with their soul and, with their cycle.
Well, so what is your Instagram handle? How can people find you?
I think it's a bit like complicated because it's my name. It's
Your
Dr.
name.
Yeah, it's Dr. Diriczi Tekla, but it's a very complicated name. So Dawn was asking for it, and it's gonna be, in the
Yeah,
podcast
we'll definitely put
text.
it in the podcast show
Yeah,
notes. Yeah, we'll flash it on the screen if we can. We'll put it on the show notes. We'll make it easier to find because,
yeah,
yes, if
yeah,
it's in Hungarian, it may be difficult for some people to spell, but they will
exactly.
find you. It'll be in the notes. We'll share it on our social media as
Mm,
well.
thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your time and sharing
Mm,
your presence because the reality is, I see in you now so much growth that warms my heart and so much confidence. And I think you're now, whether
mm,
you know it or not, even just on this podcast episode, being a mentor for other women who may be feeling like you felt less than 2 years ago. So, thank you for sharing your story.
thank you for the opportunity. And I really felt like I found, like sisters in this program, big sisters or younger sisters sometimes. But yeah, thank you so much. Mm.
Thank you.